2 Kings 22 and 23, and 2 Chronicles 34 and 35. Well, we're getting close to the end of the southern monarchy. Hezekiah has died after a long reign. A good king, Manasseh, has died after a 55-year reign, a very evil king, and his son is the next on the throne. His name is Amon. He will only reign for 2 years. He comes on the scene as a 23-year-old. He's said to be just as evil as his father. He's killed by his servants, who are then in turn killed by the people. So everything about this man, he only gets 8 verses, everything said about this man is negative. He seems to be just like his father, except in the sense he has a very, very short reign. Well, his son is named Josiah. And again, just as we have an evil king following a good king, here we have a good king following an evil king. He will undo what Manasseh does, who undid what Hezekiah does. So he's regarded by many to be the best king ever, since David, I guess we could say, because he follows in the footsteps of his father David. He reigns a rather long time, 31 years. He is crowned king by the people after Ammon is killed. And in his 18th year, here is the famous story that's told. In his 18th year, the high priest Hilkiah finds the book of the law. Now, we think this would include, in some sense, the Torah, especially Deuteronomy. Chapters 12, 13, 16, and 29 are regarded as somehow the content of what Josiah finds in the temple, because it's those chapters that seem to define the reforms that Josiah makes to the kingdom. In fact, here is what Josiah repents of. Thus says the Lord, behold, I will bring calamity on this place and on its inhabitants, because they have forsaken me and burned incense to other gods. Therefore my wrath shall be aroused against this place. That's why Josiah repents or feels terrible, because he realizes, based upon his reading of the law, that it was the worship of other gods that has caused God's anger. It does tell us how far things have gone in the wrong direction, that it would take the finding of the law for Josiah, who is again a very young boy. He's only 8 years old when he assumes the throne. Ammon dies at age 23, by the way, which shows that Ammon must have borne Josiah as a 15-year-old. But Josiah's reforms are extensive, and much of the reading that we did today goes point for point through those reforms, which again were made possible because of the evil that Manasseh had brought upon the kingdom. He will die, Josiah will die in a unwise decision to join in league with an enemy against Egypt, and he dies in battle. Well, everything goes downhill from here, and we have 4 more kings to go. And those 4 kings named Jehoahaz, Jehoiakim, Jehoiachin, and Zedekiah we'll deal with next time, or when we read the text that deals with these 4. It's all downhill in the sense that there's no good kings to come now in the next, about 22 and some years to go. In fact, when Josiah repents, it's interesting that God rewards, if we can call it that, Josiah in this way. Because your heart was tender, and you humbled yourself before the Lord when you heard what I spoke against this place and against its inhabitants, that they would become a desolation and a curse, and you tore your clothes and wept before me. I have heard you, says the Lord, therefore here is the reward he will get. You shall be gathered to your grave in peace, and your eyes shall not see all the calamity that I will bring upon this place. So his reward is simply that he'll die before he has to see what God will do to the kingdom.